Yo people, welcome back. Now with this whole who's gonna join Seth Rollins' new faction, I think we can all agree that whoever the superstar is, they have to be a younger talent with names like Austin Theory and Carmelo Hayes leading the predictions and hopefully getting that opportunity to really push on and reach that main event level one day. I think this choice is very important and they need to get this 100% right, because when you look at WWE as a whole, the men's roster, the landscape in general, they actually don't have many male wrestlers that can even take over and grow into their own right now and become the face of the company. Right now we know that their sole focus is setting up Bron Breakker in a good way, so at least that's one guaranteed male wrestler. He's 27, but we still need more because you never know with injuries or what can happen in the future. Now for me personally, I don't see Bron Breakker as being the face of the company type of guy, but definitely a main event level guy, there's no doubt about that. But he's far from the finished product right now, and WWE needs to fill the gap. Before I get into the men's division, I actually want to use the female division as an example of what we should be seeing happening in the next year or two with the men's division, hopefully, if it all goes according to plan, or if they even planning to do this. So I think the female division right now is a lot more exciting in terms of prospects and is in far safer hands because they have the likes of Tiffany Stratton, who is about 26 years old, WWE champion right now, Roxanne Perez, who's 23, Lyra Valkyria, who's 28, Rhea Ripley, who's 28, even Liv Morgan, she's only 30. Plus, they genuinely have like 3 women in NXT that should be debuting on the main roster in the next year or so, like Cora Jade, who is only 24, Jada Parker, who's only 26, Jordan Grace, who's 29. So in terms of talent and potential, there are just way more options available, and it's more exciting as a whole to see the potential, who reaches it, who doesn't, who sinks, who swims. This is perfect as we see Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch moving more into these part-timer roles. Recently, news came out that Naomi's heel run, this might be her last proper run in WWE. Nia Jax is about 40 years old, so probably not a lot left. Liv Morgan has that Hollywood role, and people are saying this could be huge for her career going forwards, because if this goes well, she might not be in WWE as a full-timer anymore. However, with those people leaving, there's just way more female talent joining and having potential to join the main roster and filling in the gaps that those legends will leave behind. And for me personally, if I was Triple H, I'd rather have that problem than the problem currently faced with in the men's division. All of this, by the way, with the female division, while still having Io Sky, Zelina Vega, Chelsea Green, Jade Cargill, Alexa Bliss, Bianca Belair, Raquel Rodriguez, and even Stephanie Vaquer, who they're pushing a lot recently. So the women's division is alive and well, and if anything, it's a matter of actually letting these women shine, have their opportunities to develop in terms of their characters, in terms of their stories, and see what happens from there. Now compare that to the concern and gaps that the men's roster is currently in. So we have John Cena, who retires this year. We have Roman Reigns, who said that after this current deal's up, he's basically gone to Hollywood. Before WrestleMania 41, Jey Uso came out and he said he might only stay a few more years because he's nearly 40 years old. I assume Jimmy might be feeling in that same mindset. So instantly, you've lost 2 guys who were the face of the company in John Cena and Roman Reigns. And it's the face of the company for at least the last 15 to 20 years. And then you're going to lose one of the best tag teams in the last 10 years or so. Definitely an all-timer tag team. Then if we're being realistic, we have names like Randy Orton. He's 45 and I can't see him doing, again, more than another 2-3 years at this level. Maybe he goes into part-time after that. But this is the last proper run that he's going to have. So all the people I've mentioned so far, they would be retiring in and around the same time. We got CM Punk, who's 46 and he seems to be struggling to do anything after a big match. He's probably got about a year or 2 left in him. Seth Rollins, he's 38 and he himself is going to have to adapt his wrestling style if he wishes to have longevity in this company. Although he's come out in the past, he's spoken about his future and it seems like there's still like 5 more years there. Not sure, maybe he could do a bit more, a bit less. It all depends on him and what he wants to do. And to be honest, I think after this group thing that he's doing, this will be his last heel run, and then I guess he's going to have one more face run and it's over. That's what I predict. This is without forgetting absolute legends like AJ Styles, who will be 48 soon. Like, all these guys are just too close to retiring all at the same time, similar times, and if it's not retiring, then they're heading into that part-time direction. And as of right now, there's just not enough fresh talent that is consistent enough to really take over from all those names that I've mentioned that are potentially leaving. That's why I think for me, this new member that will appear in Seth's faction has to be young. There's a lot going on for this, and there is a major responsibility for whoever gets chosen. I made a video discussing who the possibilities could be. The link will be down below in the description if you want to go check out that video. But aside from this group, which the sole purpose is to push Bron Breakker and the other member, they need to start developing more talent. One of the most over people right now is Penta, but bro is 40 years old. He's not the type of person that fits what I'm saying. Cody Rhodes himself is soon to be 40 in June. Damian Priest, who is one of Triple H's favorites, he's 42. Drew McIntyre's 39. It's so strange that basically all the people that draw in views, are main event caliber, and have the most fans, sell the most merch, all these wrestlers are basically above the age of 38. So there's definitely a massive gap between 38 and around Bron Breakker, which is 27. They need to fill that in as soon as possible. Like I mentioned with the women's division, they currently have Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley to take over as well, so they're in much safer hands going forwards, like I mentioned. I've named about 8 wrestlers that could probably be gone in the next 2 or 3 years, or at least won't appear as much as they currently do, and to replace those 8 or so, we only really have Bron Breakker, who is heading in the right direction. It doesn't mean that there's none available. We obviously still have Carmelo Hayes, who in my opinion has been wasted this last year or so. Dominic Mysterio, he's evolving slowly but surely. I wouldn't rush any of his progress right now. Austin Theory, he's about 27. He needs to be rebranded because there's talent right there, but it's being wasted. We also have NXT people like Obafemi, who is the current NXT champion. He could maybe be thrown into the deep end, or even someone like Trick Williams. So yeah, right now, all these options are good on paper, but they still haven't had as much of a push as Bron Breakker. We haven't seen them in those main event moments at the biggest stage. So this is something that WWE, Triple H, all the creatives, they have to take a major look at and start doing something about this mess. Like I said, I'm not saying to push all the young talent immediately. This is something that will take 2 or 3 years, but within the next 2 or 3 years, you need to have about 5 established guys minimum to really be fighting for the mid-card titles, for the main event titles, Money in the Banks, all of that stuff. That needs to be happening as of right now. It all needs to set in motion right now. And overall, hopefully, whoever the new member is that joins Seth Rollins' faction is someone like a Carmelo Hayes or an Austin Theory, because whoever gets given that position, they have been blessed with absolute protection and they will be automatically boosted into the main event scene. And also, as a side note, I really hope that this faction is really working for the final boss, because that just adds a much more bigger endgame feel, and hopefully this all leads up to The Rock versus Roman Reigns at next WrestleMania. But yeah, let me know what you make of all of this. Who would you want to push the most in terms of the current men's roster, or even the females roster if you want to give me that? Who are your current favorite superstars under the age of 30, whether it's WWE or NXT? Let me know all of that down below in the comments. I'd appreciate if you could hit that like button and sub to the channel. Thank you for your time.